next, we have Mr. Cherry. Anderson Cherry is here with us again. And we are so very, very happy to have him with us. And every time I see him, every time I see you, Mr. Cherry, I remember you coming to my school to speak with the children there. There was a young man who almost looked like you. I don't know if you remember. And he was probably about 10 years old. And he was up front asking the questions, and he was so caught up in what you had to say. Those children were all into it. You went even longer than you're supposed to be there. And those children, my son was there too. He was all into it. And I thanked you the last time, but whenever I see you, I remember that. Mr. Cherry, it's great to have you again. Good night. You're muted?
Yes, I'm sorry. Good night to
Yeah.
everyone. Good night to the general. Um, it's an honor to be here with you. I see you got on your yellow shirt. I have on my red one. This wasn't planned. This wasn't planned, but everyone know that I'm a supporter of the Barbados Labour Party. I'm not a member, but I'm a supporter. But I'm one of the persons that if some person
Can you
or
speak up a little? Is he sounding low to you, Caswell, or it's
Yeah,
me?
she can get look close to
is it better here now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Hopefully, yeah.
yeah. So I'm a supporter of the Barbados Labour Party, but I also would want to support if people are doing good, and if people are doing good, I would support them, and if they are doing bad, I would speak out. And I think that what is happening to us, Mr. Franklin, as a people, is a level of injustice and a lot of stuff that I find that is wrong. And I know that when I speak out, we often get victimized, huh? And a lot of my brothers is scared to do that. But I can understand. I can understand why because I felt the wrath, my brother. But you know, my I want to speak a little bit about my journey, huh? How I get
Yes.
here. Um, as a young boy raised up in Bushal, I've been to school at St. Leonard's, and I'm not too much a bright kid, huh? And but my dad used to put me in front of the TV every evening. I didn't have the privilege to go outside and run around and play and stuff. I just got to sit down and listen to the 7 o'clock news. And I remember one program after the 7 o'clock news. I heard Sir Charles Williams at the time. Um, he wasn't Sir Charles, he was Carl Williams at the time. He said something that changed my life forever. He said, among black people, there's there's not any second and third generation black businesses in Barbados. There's not many. And then he went on to say if he dead, he has this person and the next person to take over. At that point in time, Marcia, I made up my mind at the tender age at 11 that I will have a second or third generation black business. And I remember when I left school, when I was going to school, my dad took sick. And I left school at 16 years old. I left school with two certificates, huh? My baptism and birth. And so I left school at 16. I, I left school at 16
Okay.
years old.
Okay. Somebody. Okay. Where? I wonder if it's your computer audio. Can you turn? Is there audio on your computer all the way up? I'm wondering, or whatever you're
I
using.
yeah, it's the
You
computer,
think?
I believe so.
I'm
Right.
hearing well though.
You're hearing
Is
him
it?
well?
Yes.
You can hear me?
But I got nice stuff.
Yes. 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 People are saying that he's really low. We
Okay.
want
Is
to
it better
hear him.
now? Is it better?
Okay, keep talking and we'll tell you. Keep talking. You keep talking. We want to hear
Okay.
you.
All right. So I'm gonna shout. Ah! So yeah. So when I left school, I've been to Venezuela, and I start to, when I was on that trip, I was always a fat child, you know, so the clothes couldn't fit me and stuff. So I bought back a lot of clothes and sell, and um, I made back my um, um, plane flight, hotel accommodation, my spending money, and I ended up with some money. So what? It's a good deal. And I went again and come back. But when I come back, my dad told me, no, you can't go to those Spanish-speaking countries. It's very dangerous. And my dad had a guy there that we bought. I had 11,000 saved at that time, and my dad purchased a ZR van for me. So I said, Daddy, okay, look, I gotta pay back the money, but I didn't want part of my $11,000 because it was my only $11,000 I had. That was Z1060, and I started. My father said we go and do some dollar vans, like cause he said when he is in Gazette as a young man, he started dollar van business, but at that time it was 10 cents and 15 cents and stuff. So I start doing my hustle in Bashal, and the importance of this is that on my first vehicle, I put on God bless Fat Child because I knew that I would be very, very successful, and I wanted the entire Barbados and the world know that it's God who blessed me and not man. And fast forward, I made a lot of mistakes in business. I fall, I went up, I went down. It's not an easy journey in Barbados, and any entrepreneur can tell you that it is not easy to try to run a business. I failed so many times, you know. But in 2015, in 2015, my life changed. I started to read in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon. And The Richest Man in Babylon and Think and Grow Rich really changed my life. Huh? There was something in Think and Grow Rich that I read that is very important. I would like to share it with every person. And most of these things that I done is based on the Bible. It was Matthew 7:7. Ask and it should be given. Seek and you should find. Knock and doors shall be opened unto you. And it went on and said, for everyone that asks, receive. And everyone that seek, find. Everyone that knock, doors open. And I found that, I said, wow. You mean that I have the power to speak things into existence? And I said, this is amazing. And I started my journey. So in 2015, I had $0. And I did a press release because I knew when I did this press release, there's no turning back right now. And I did a press release and said, look, I'm launching a $34 million recycling program. I had no money. I mean, everybody laughed at me. Everybody said, "Oh, this is a bold statement." And without any money, I stepped out by faith. And fast forward to 2024, we were able to acquire 64 acres at Vaucluse with no loan because I spoke it in 2015. I invested in excess of 10 in Barbados. We only talk about Barbados, in excess of $10 million in equipment. And this is nothing to do with other countries in the Caribbean. And I'm saying this not to be boastful. I'm saying this to encourage others that if Anderson Cherry, a little black boy from Bashal, could do it, any of us could do it. All we have to do is to change the way how we think. And that led me to last week on Down to Brass Tacks. You know, I felt really hurt because I encouraged a group of men who looked like me to do the same thing that I have done. And I encourage them to join with me because I know it works. And step out there and invest because government has promised that they're going to share, I believe it was 60% in work among us. And I said, well, look, there's 60% of this work that was shared among us as a people. If we come together, we can compete with the bigger companies. So the guys decided that, look, we're gonna buy some equipment and stuff. I said, look, I will go after the asphalt plant and I'm gonna mix asphalt for y'all guys. I'm gonna rent, y'all gonna have the pavers and stuff where y'all gonna pave the road for government. And I galvanized a lot of the former railside construction guys, as you know them, some guys that work at Steel Williams also. And I say, guys, look, I'm gonna mix the asphalt for y'all guys. Well, and I'm gonna rent y'all the pavers, and y'all are part of this equipment. So y'all will get us. And y'all gonna pave the roads. Y'all have the skill set. Y'all can do it. Y'all gonna pave these roads in Barbados. And and as a Barbadian, and to see my government have a accelerated milling program and not none of us getting any of the work. I mean, I felt really bad. And to go back to what Mr. Franklin was saying, the 98% of us, we have elected a government that cares. And more so, we elected our dear Prime Minister, who we love a lot. All of us, I mean, we love Prime Minister Motley. But look at what is happening to us. We are suffering. I mean, we can't get our bills paid. Look, my brother came on brass tacks, a grown man, and said that he has lost his house and now he had to rent. Marcia, can you hear me?
Yes, very much. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, he said that he has lost his house and had to rent. That almost broke my heart last week, Monday. And I know the guy, I know Mr. Robinson well. And for him to come out and say that he had to be hurting. And I'm saying, I know Mr. Robinson has done very good work in this country. He's a wonderful person. I mean, all of us have our shortcomings. All of us has our ups and downs. But Mr. Robinson is a gentleman that knows his work. He knows his work. You can't touch him on that. And then I stop and I start to think. And I say, when I left school at 16 years old, I went to C.O. Williams' office. And I stayed there. I went the Monday, the Tuesday, the Wednesday. On the Thursday, Mr. Williams tell me, look, young boy, come. I see you coming here every morning. He said, I don't have no vacation jobs. So if you're looking for a job, I don't have any. He says, sir, I don't want any job. All I want you to do is to tell me how to become successful. He looked at me that morning, and that was probably like 5:30, 6 in the morning. And every morning at 5:30, 5 o'clock, I was there waiting till he come in. And he sit me down. He said, look, I'm going to tell you what my mother tell me. He said, buy land. And then we sit down and we talk about stuff about equipment and stuff. I left there and I went by Arthur Construction. And I asked Arthur Construction to give me some advice. And we had a lot of discussion, and he told me what types of equipment to purchase and stuff. That's here in Arthur. And I left there and I went that same day. I can remember that now. I went back to St. Leonard's School. And Rayside was paving St. Leonard's hardcore at the time. And old man Rayside said, Cherry, and shaking his shoulder, and cigarette in his mouth and say, look, you see those trucks there, those make a lot of money for me and do this and do that. And I took a piece of what what they would call successful businessmen said. And I started business. My dad is who originally started Jose in 1969. Because my brother is Jose and my father is Joseph. So that's how you get Jose, Joseph. But when my dad took sick, when I was 15, 16, I took over the business. Mm-hmm. And then I expanded the company to Jose Construction, and a lot
Okay.
of liquor, and so then I started a lot of different businesses and stuff, and and it was the journey was a very long and tough journey. As I said before, I failed so many different times, but when Mr. Robinson came out, I started to think. I said, I tried to count 10 black businesses that failed, and then I said, let me see how many that was around for the second generation. So let me look at the ones that fail. They start to say, what we would then know as railside construction, because the construction arm of the business don't run the equipment and stuff. I look at Roy Davis, Canterbury Construction. I even look at the same Braffett Construction down there that is struggling. And then when I look at the same Ajax Construction, I said, no, this is just too much. I just can't continue to sit here while my brothers are failing so all the time. So it's not about me, Marcia. It's not about me. As I share with my kids, I tell my kids, like they got to get out and do some work. I have five of the most wonderful kids. One of them he's on the block. He like being on the block for some reason. Daddy has all of this, and he like being on the block. I don't know why. And and I go on the block and bring home people that my son at home going on the block. So sometimes it's got your little ups and downs. It is amazing how things has happened. And I'm 52 years old today. I'm 52 years old, not today, but 52 years old. And I often at dinner with my kids every Friday night, I tell them this, if I project my life to age 80, I only got 28 more years on earth, because someday I'm gonna go on. And I don't know if I could work to 80 years old, but if I project my life to age 80, I got 28 more years. And if I could live off of $5,000 a month, meaning because I don't have a mortgage, I don't have a car loan, and if I could live off of $5,000 a month, that's about $1,680,000, if my math is correct, that I would need to live for the next 28 years. So I'm good. It's not about me. It's about my grands and my great grands. The Bible said a wise man stored for his children and his children's children. Now, so bear me, I'm not saying this in any way trying to boast, but I'm saying I have 3 grands, and they're going to start life different than other people, because they don't have to go and look to get a 20-year mortgage. They don't have all that, but they might have some pieces of certificate that have no value to me, because at my age, there's no value to me. They're going to start with a certificate that may mark who was in construction or some other piece of property or something. But let us talk about the others, my other black brothers in Barbados. I would like them to be able to create wealth and pass it on to their children and their children's children as well. And we have a government that came into power that say that they cares, but yet we watching every single day. We have to sit down and watch a certain group who doesn't look like me get every single thing, and that is wrong. I mean, last week when I spoke out, I was so hurt. I was so hurt to sit down and listen to someone saying, because I asked for a mobilization, which if you read today's paper, the government refuting what I say. I mean, which I don't understand. They refute. I think what they should have done was deny. How can they say that we have $30 million to spend before the end of the financial year, and that is 2 months before the end of the financial year, which represent $30 million is $500,000 per day. Do the math. 30 million is $500,000 $100,000 a day that
Mm.
we, the 98% of us, I believe, most of us who pay the taxes and stuff, and I know a lot of people may be angry or sometimes, not so elegant in speech like some others, but they will come and, like try to, how can anyone see that that is right? I'm saying, just like Mr. Franklin, what we have done is elect Prime Minister Motley as our Prime Minister. Prime Minister Motley is who really won the government. And I'm asking tonight on your show that Prime Minister Motley come home and really spend some more time in Barbados. We really appreciate you, Prime Minister, what you're doing for the country, for the Caribbean, but we want you to come home. Please come home and attend to us Barbadians that is hurting. The 98% who voted for you, who put you there, we are hurting. And we are begging you to come home. Spend some time here home and deal with this matter. We cannot continue to hurt in silence. It's not fair. We vote you in twice. And look at what is happening to us. We as Black people sitting here and watching two companies doing $30 million in work. And I was told on brass tacks on Monday, I could go after the others. Little 1 million and 2 million. Listen, why all of us have to eat the crumbs off the table when we get a chance to sit around the table? Because is that a table that's set for other people? My Prime Minister travels the world speaking about reparations. I was listening to the UN speech today again. Listen, we talking about enfranchisement and reparations. It got to start home here. It got to start at home, though. It got to start at home. It is what is happening is not fair. I know the pressure that I gonna come under, even among our own. And we have talent. We as the people have talent. Listen, you know who's my hero in business? Neville Rowe. Neville Rowe built a supermarket in the smack of Haggett Hall when there wasn't the businesses around there. It got the most beautiful car park. I don't even think the building ever get painted. You see what a visionary that man is? But yet we will knock him because he may wear jelly curls in those days. That man is my hero.
Mm-hmm.
I see when I went to your school, and often since I came off of brass, that so many people call me and say, Cherry, thank you. I really appreciate it. I spent the last 5 days just returning messages because there's just so many people come and say, Cherry, I want to be like you. And I just can't let down people. And I just can't let down my brothers and sisters and just stop here and not speak out when you're seeing injustice being done. If you hear the amount of money that's been, listen, I remember down at St. Lucie speak, myself and the Prime Minister, we were speaking and getting a little high words. And, something that was said, like, they have a list of all the work that they got. And they say, something? When that list is produced, you have to have something to compare it with. So I do have a list of all of other companies.
So let's clarify. Who said? So you said you were at this event and you got into high words with
the
Prime Minister,
discussion.
and they said that they have a list They have a list of the work that
Yes,
they gave you.
yes.
Hmm.
So you know, well, I have a list too of what other persons got. So I mean, and when you could compare it, it is unbelievable. It is not. I mean, it is unbelievable, and y'all will. So many different companies with so many different names and so many different ways, and but when the corporate veil is revealed, you will be surprised. I mean, it is painful, and all that we are asking is to please share our money with us. All we ask is for it to come back into our community. That's all. And this paving program is a good example. Look, if what I think the government should have done is focus on vertical construction, you get more people back to work. It's difficult to say that when I'm in road building, but you
Hmm.
get people back to work because you put more laborers and carpenters and masons and stuff to work. So everybody get to pay taxes. Everybody eat. The lady that selling vegetables, so the road she can grow more vegetables. The person that's selling food, vendors, they can do more food. The you know, everybody, a worker and his girlfriend would get some work. Um, you know, the hardware is going to sell. Everybody's going to get some work. Now, the government is spending a lot of money in road building and road works. Yes, the country needs road work. I totally agree. But here is coming from a person that is in the road building business and saying that you should do vertical construction. And when I look back, and in the pandemic, most countries did road works. I said, okay, I said in my head, look at that history, I'm going to get into a lot of road building. So I know my people, I know how to think. And on Monday on Brass Stats was a perfect example. You had, I think it's Tall Boy and all these guys, and you had a lot of people talking along with the government speaking and saying, look, if these people had this work and look, so when I started my group, I said, well, look, I will mix this asphalt for you guys.
Hmm.
Y'all are professional road builders. You do the work. I will clarify the road. I will rent you my pavers until y'all able to buy some. And you do the paving. I will do the mixing because the pie was share. So if out of this $30 million, we would have gotten 10 into our community, that 10 would feed another 26 or 30. That 30 going to go home and feed 30 families. And that 30 families going to feed, you know, the money will
Yeah.
spread and it will get us rolling. You understand? And then when we start to move, we're going to do things too. We're going to get our mortgages paid off. We're going to start to move in the right direction. But if it going one direction and all that we are good for is to spread the same asphalt to people, that we can drive the same people truck and we can't drive our own, it is not fair.
Mr. Cherry, before you go on, there are several. This is, I must say, very compelling. You know, whew, I didn't. This is heavy stuff because it's real. It's very real. You know what you're sharing. Someone is asking. They keep asking the question. Peter the Earl had asked it earlier, and Hurricane Writer is asking, what about the other 26 truckers and road builders? They want to know: are they afraid to stand by or with you, Mr. Cherry? And if they're afraid, why?
If I, well, everyone can't do what Mr. Robinson did, and also the other Mr. Williams did yesterday, without on my last week Monday. Look, let me share what happened. I went on Brass Stacks, and it was not planned. This was something last year. I just, something was going on, and I went on, and I was waiting on the conversation. that was the Thursday. I think it was the Thursday or the thing, and it was the Thursday, and by the Friday, I had a piece of equipment working in the landfill, and by the Friday, I was asked to move it out, and and another company tractor was in. Now I'm saying the other company's getting all of the road work, and not even I could work in the landfill. And I have to park my tractor outside of the landfill because I ain't got no work for it. And I watch another company and they're working every single day from then to now. They're working almost every day. And you see what's happened. The I mean, that is so wrong. The work is going in one direction and it need to share. I
So,
think that
Mr.
everybody should live.
So, Mr. Cherry, I understand that you're saying it needs to share. The question is, though, are you saying that those 26, those others, well, probably 24, because a couple of them spoke out, they are not, they can't, they don't want to speak up because they feel that they will be victimized? Do you think that?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But the guys is willing to, some of the guys were willing to speak. I mean, I spoke to some of them last week. We had conversations, and some of the guys would speak, but a lot of them are scared. A lot of them are scared. Look what happened even on the radio last week when Mr. Ellis asked Mr. Robinson if he wanted to speak. He said, "No, no, no, I'm good," because we are scared. Listen, you saw in those videos how much equipment parked in my yard, and you see that the government is saying that others are working day and night.
Yes.
And still doing the other work for government too, in the landfill and all those jobs. It is not fair. It is not fair. Even if they're doing the work, they should let us do some of the other jobs as well too. It's not fair.
I will tell you something now, though. You see that landfill problem? The sanitation has equipment that can do the job, and it costs but the equipment needs warm apart. It costs $50,000, and they spend that in 2 days with Carl Williams rather than buy the part to fix their own tractors. Something is wrong there. They had you out there, Sherry, but you ain't got the $7,500 again about it. So you had to move you. I'm telling you, that part costs $50,000, and every 2 days that's what Carl Williams the make on the landfill with the two tractors, and government refused to spend $50,000 to fix their own equipment. So something is wrong. You have the equipment, you're not using it because it needed a part, but the part cost $50,000. I would take the $50,000 and don't push by landfill for 2 days and buy the part and install it, because you see the guy on the, if you look at these Barbados today, the guy who was my shop steward basically that was showing the newspaper wrong, he's one of the best mechanics in the place. They're gonna work for you there because they're not buying the parts to fix it, because they prefer to give it out to Carl Williams. And I see the thing is, somebody can barely see you on the screen. You're too dark.
My mother left me in the sun too long, brother.
I'm telling you, so you're too dark. That is the problem here. And until we recognize it and call a spade, but you're spade, you dark. But until we call a spade, and the thing is, people when they hear you saying these things, they say, "Oh, what are you going to talk about race?" Because that is what it is. That is what it is. I know for a fact, and we saw on the thing that you could build a runway in Dominica. You can build a Tantry Road. But airplanes is land on the runway, and the kind of construction you have to do for runways, the kind of impact when the plane lands. It isn't like you driving on the road with a big truck and thing. So runway has to be sturdy, very strong, resistant to that kind of force when the airplane hits down.
Okay.
And if you can do that for build a runway, if you can build a runway, you can build any road. I am putting that to you. So, but yet still Dominica can get him to build a runway, but Barbados can't get you to build to pave over a carrot road.
A carrot road. And,
There's madness. It is
and
corruption. It is
and
more. It is more so corruption than favoritism because they know what they will get back. But you see, the small businessmen, the 26 fellas, are now trying to catch up. So they haven't got enough to pass back. So when you could divide $30,000 in four and get $30,000 checks, I mean $7,000 checks, one after the next, one after the next. You fellas can't go $30,000. You will get a little $1,500 here and $1,500 there, but you don't have $7,500 or $30,000 because it was. I understand it is four checks that they were getting. So what? So you haven't got that kind of money. So it is corruption. Something needs to be done. I don't care how much you like her. She has to rein in these people that she has with her, or she has to go about her business because we are not getting governance. I remember Glenn telling the people that they're gonna get work. I remember him when he was minister.
Yeah.
You get any yet? Apparently, when they can get it work, they had to stop him and find somebody else because he was intent on giving you guys work. So they had to move him because they're not working for you. All for you is when at the end of the year to invite you to the lower court and get some hot dogs from the toothpick and that kind of thing and call it Wally and you feel good.
Yeah.
You know, you want work. Let them feed your families.
Yeah. There's a question here. Go ahead, Mr. Cherry, and then I will ask you a question from Paul Gibson. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I believe when we have elected.
Speak up a bit more again. Just speak up. Yes, thank you.
I strongly believe when we had our black government, it would have been different. I really thought that, and I thought that we would be represented, and I'm very, very disappointed in the kind of representation that we are getting from some of them. You know, I mean, I would like to see who else in the government to get it and let them know, or let the minister know what was done was wrong.
Yes.
And the need to fix it. And if we can't wait to the next program, they need to mobilize us now and to fix this problem. Because listen, the entire Barbados and the world is watching what's happening in Barbados. And I want to thank you for this platform that you have people coming to share. Because what is happening here in Barbados is real. It is real. This is real life. People are hurting. People's houses are being repossessed. People's vehicles. It is real. This is real, real, real. People are suffering. And I beg my Prime Minister to come back home and spend the time among us and fix this problem.
Yes.
Look, I project my life to age 80, but 3 years coming shortly. You have to fix this and to repair this damage. I know how you have it, but it needs to be fixed. The truckers need work. Black people need to be employed.
Yes.
Keep us busy. Keep the crime rate down. Keep us busy. Let me eat the food.
Yeah. Mr. Cherry, there's a question for you. Paul Gibson says, I know the government owes lots of money. Owes you lots of money. Are they releasing your funds? Bottom line, are you getting your money, sir? And not just you, but the others who are owed.
Well, the deputy prime minister is who brought up that, because I don't want to air my laundry in the open. But the deputy prime minister brought it up when she came on her brass tacks. And I think that she was misinformed. And she said she has invoices there from 2001. and I've been calling she all the time. Now, yes, I will be calling her about my payments all the time, and I've been hurting. I wrote a lot of letters. I had a discussion. I had lots of meetings, or sent a lot of letters to the DNPS, and I just being ignored. No, she said something that a lot of stuff that was wrong, and they need to do the right thing. I wouldn't want to disclose what is owed and how long, but what they're doing is hurting us. My group have done work and we have not been paid. The guys are being hurt. I paid a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it out of my pocket, but I can't do no more. And I'm begging them to please pay, or sit down and have a meeting. But I don't even know what a meeting to do now, because the guys are, I mean, everybody's hurting.
They just need to
Just do
pay
the
the
right thing.
money.
Do
Do
the
the
right
right
thing.
thing.
Do the
Do the
right
right
thing.
thing.
You
Yeah.
say that you have 30, you got physical space. I think that's the term. And you got 34 million dollars. We could have been paid out of that too with our physical space. The road that want paving, one road that want paving, the people waiting for all these years, they can hold on for another week or month. But no, you take that money, $30 million, and give it to two companies. That is wrong. You're gonna take some of it and pay me and ease my little brothers that in trouble. Mr. Robinson House didn't have to get sell. It's wrong.
Have to do something. You have to do something. Somebody's asking, that says, Mr. Cherry, are you willing to take on any of the road works under the CAP program?
Well, I don't know if it named calf for a particular reason, but I want the cow program. I want the big one. So why do we have to keep, why do we have to keep getting all those little small things? Huh? Listen,
Oh,
if
I
you, oh,
see.
look, I
So
want the
you
cow
so there
program
are different types of programs. So the
with,
CAP is the one, is a
with the
small
little,
program. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So what we got to take small. I think that if we as a people start to change our thinking, we ain't gonna look at calf stories, we ain't gonna look at cows. But yes, but to answer the question, I'm willing to get any type of work that is given. And as I mean, I know that work is advertised things in the paper for all these years. Is read it advertised in the paper. Is this new thing that they go on? I heard about now bonfire. Is go on bonfire, and as long as they come out in the paper, not only me, every Barbadian should get an opportunity to tender. And now they have a place where they can get asphalt from. We're gonna create way more entrepreneurs out there in the asphalt business. And what listen, I find it very strange that in this accelerated middle pay program, none of the major roads is being done, and all the small roads is getting a rush to do. So
Mm.
why don't you give all this small man the little small road? Why are you rushing it? There's more in the bottom than the petrol. Something something just ain't feel right. I ain't the sewage business. And if it look like sewage and it smell like sewage, I don't want to taste it. But I know something ain't right.
You know sewage. You know sewage when you see sewage. You know.
Yes?
But there was another question, that was on the screen. I'm gonna try to find it, and to ask it, Mr. Franklin. Oh, Mr. Cherry, I have to ask you this question on air. Some people say to me, don't bother, with Mr. Cherry. Don't have him on because Mr. Cherry's business, one of the investors in his business, the main investor is Mia Motley. Is that true?
He's,
Can
he's,
you?
No,
he's stuck.
you was breaking up. I think you need to repeat that. But
I'm breaking up. Was I breaking up, Mr.
yeah,
Franklin? I want to
No,
know if
but he was stuck, so something was wrong
yeah,
with his system.
something was wrong. Oh, he's dropping out. Okay. He's gonna come back in soon. We want to ask him any questions from Mr.
yes.
Cherry,
But I want you to
guys.
repeat that question.
Yeah. So I'm gonna repeat the question for you. The
No,
question that I have
you were
is,
saying, come.
people say to me that, don't listen to Mr. Cherry. Mr. Cherry is main investor in his business. Why he could get all those millions? It's because Mia Motley is an investor in your business. Is that true?
Well, look, I will answer it this way. If so, why did I get the $10 million or that $30 million contract?
Yeah, speak up a little more. Come up a little closer.
No, he's answering the question quite well. He said, if that were the case, why he didn't get the $10 million, $30 million contract? Because if she was pumping contract work toward him, and because her own business, she would fund her
Ah,
business. So you think Mia Motley would refuse to give her company work? Remember that Ah, that they see they always try to pull people down. That's the problem that we got here with black people. The white people just take care of one another. They talk about each other among themselves, but we talk about each other among everybody and find every kind of way to say if you're a black man in Barbados today and you become successful, you have to go a boyfriend
Yes.
or you thief it or something so that they never think that you pull yourself up by your bootstraps and basically got to stop that nonsense. You
yeah.
know?
So, Mr. Franklin, somebody's actually saying, people are actually saying that Mr. Cherry didn't say yes or no. Is Mia Motley an investor in your business?
Tell the person that if they want to invest, they can come and invest in my business. I can sell this on shares. Tell them that.
Yeah. So, Mr. Cherry, also, is Liz Thompson related to you?
I'm a cherry. I don't know. I haven't checked the bloodline or the history.
Because
I'm a
again,
cherry.
these are the reasons that they've given me since I've been in Barbados. Oh, but he is related. Is Liz Thompson's brother? Is what I hear. I was Liz Thompson's brother. So that's how come he gets. He has all these millions. That's what they say. So I had to ask that for myself.
Listen, I I learned the art how to earn money, how to keep it, how to make it work for me, and that is what persons need to do. Let the money work for them. Put it to work. Okay? And that I did.
Yeah,
You with me?
yeah. Yeah, you make money work for you. Somebody said is asking if Jose is your business.
Yes.
Okay, so that
That's
that that,
that's
that
one of them. Jose and Jose is a group of companies. So there's septic tank, there's construction, there's a lot of different arms of it.
yeah, yeah. Any other questions? Because I think what I love about your presentation tonight, and there are some people who have a problem with it, but I love the fact that you came on and you are honest, and I
Yes.
like the honesty. You come on, you say, listen, I am a BLP supporter, all right, and I voted BLP. At the moment, things are hard. Things are hard for us, and I recognize that the party that I voted for, they're not delivering. And you are not the only one, it's just that you're honest about it. And
Yes.
I don't see why people are having a problem with that. You are honest about saying, listen, I supported the party. I believe in Mia Motley. However, at the moment, Mia Motley isn't doing much for Black Barbadians.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That's what you're saying. And Mr. Franklin, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Because there are lots of people who have voted for the BLP who love Mia Martin, but won't open their mouth to say the truth of what they're experiencing. And I appreciate you for saying that. And I open my heart to you. And I feel your pain, sir. I really do.
You have a go ahead, go ahead. Go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
No, no,
Mr.
gentlemen. Sorry to
I'm
cross you
saying
there.
too that I commend him for his honesty. you know, and it's courage too, because we have a lot of people who are afraid to stand up. You see what happened to the apostle there? They lock her up, they do all kind of things because she was standing up. That's what they want to do. That's if you speak out in Barbados and you they can't buy you off and give or offer people like me 4 different jobs, they're gonna try to destroy you. But instead of doing me here in the house here, they're talking about um I'm not compliant. Compliant but what? You know, they didn't say. And I have 2 areas of non-compliance. I'd forget to send them my attorney that says that I change address, and the other one accounts and up to date. They don't do that with their accounts because units don't pay taxes, so they just put them down there. So it's just that they want to have something to pull this fella down, because you are not. They can't buy me with jobs. They can't silence me. They send people to my office to set honey traps for me. But the thing is, they forget one thing. I ain't able. So, so honey trapping can hold me now. 20 years ago, maybe, but not now. So they do everything to 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 destroy you if you don't comply with what they want. So it isn't anything you do. So you speaking out, look for a backlash.
Oh yeah, I know what happens, and sometimes it comes from your own. Theory.
Yes,
Because
correct. Speak up,
understand.
Mr. Cherry.
I'm sorry. I say
I said,
sometimes it
yes,
comes from your own. I understand what 400 years of slavery could do, and how that
yes,
we were indoctrinated. So sometimes our own is who is to, like how the rule goes, and the, the, sometimes it's our own that was pulled down. But we need to wake up. We need to wake up, and all that will raise up. I forgive them. I forgive them. You know me? Because I know that will come. I know some may be saying negative things on the podcast here. I know some of the tomorrow people are gonna blow up. I know you're gonna pass the road, you're gonna hear all sorts of stuff. Who own the business. I you know how naked the party gonna blow up tomorrow. Well, I hear already a little something about me, I was like, wow, I really get to the big better get there. I said, wow,
yes,
man.
yes.
So look,
you know,
like
um,
affliction, but your people just get up and your own will get up and speak out and speak all sorts of negative things. But the Lord is my shepherd; I shall not
Mhm.
want. He
That's
maketh
right.
me to lie down in green pastures. Hallelujah. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. But God, Yah is with me.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, I love it.
The Most
I,
High.
I we,
the,
we 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 must support Mr. Casual, Mr. Frank. Let me say this, and then I will give the mic to you. We must understand something. I find that we tend to be as people, very vindictive ourselves and the way we treat one another. We love to say good for you. You should, if something, people will be here right now, Mr. Franklin, and they're like, go ahead, the Marcia Weekes Show, Cousin Franklin. What happens now when they write something in the newspaper about me? What happens when Naked Departure takes me now and put something about Mr. Cherry in there and put lies out there and all these different things? Oh, we always knew. The same people who put you on a pedestal, then they come and kick that pedestal, they kick it down. We do not know how to support each other, and we need to stop it. Here we have 26 black businesses that are basically suffering right now. And Mr. Cherry has taken the bull by the horn, the cow, the bull by the horn, and have decided that he's going to speak up about this particular issue. And we are going to start to say which party he's from, who he support, and
Where
all
he
of
get
those.
his money
And
from? Oh my
I
God.
think that is low. That energy is low. That vibration is low. We need to see the bigger picture and hear what the man is saying. Yes, I supported the Barbados Labour Party. Yes, I support Mia Mottley, and that's fine. He's allowed to do that. That's him. He's Mr. Cherry, and that's what he's saying. However, he's saying that they have been doing wrong by the people of Barbados. I respect that. Back to you, Mr. Over to you, Mr. Franklin.
Now, you see, he said that he supports Mayor. I'm going to tell him something now. Mayor does not support you. Because the minister that is doing the upfront thing is Santia. The girl doesn't have much brain. But you must remember, Mayor said, in St. George North, all big works must come through her.
Mm.
So Santa is only the mouthpiece, the talking head, not the thinking head either, because you can clearly from what she's talking about that she wasn't thinking before she said it. Because I heard some of the things that she said, and she knows nothing about mobilization. Because I work in the ministry and I sat down in the same room with the building officers and stuff who did the contracts, and some things when they were not there, I had to learn fast and do the things for them. Mobilization is common. People get mobilization fee. I have actually sat down as a clerk in the ministry to take those documents for adjudication to the registry when you have your bond, because the government will pay you the money, and if you mess up, you have to have insurance or something that the government will get back the money from if you don't do what you're supposed to do. So mobilization is nothing new.
No.
It's been happening, but I did that in the 80s, and I suspect it was happening before me. So I think something that they're making it and that you're asking for in the 80s. You're a young man to me, and it was happening when you were in school. So when they try to make you look foolish and try to say, well, you don't got the money, but there are people that got the money. Busy had enough money, but did he put his money up to build that plant in St. Thomas there for the recycling plant? No, he got a contract. Okay, contract the bank. Bank gave you money. What you can do other people like the guy who has bees. Where can I get the bees? He had he had the skills, he had the knowledge, he has the experience, but no, you get the busy. And then somebody went and steal some copper wire, burn off the rubber or whatever it is around the wire, and it caught fire bees place, and he was at fault. You remember that?
Yes, sad.
It wasn't anything to do with him. Fellas stole them and bent to get the copper, and they had to burn off the covering, and it lit his place. Man, and everybody, there's enough one kill Bino. And Bino was an innocent man, and there's people out there so behind his business, burning down the place, and he was in trouble. And government, everybody jumped on this case. Because you're black. I mean, you're black, and you're starting new, and you ain't got the kind of resources that you can give politicians to bribe them, you will continue to be poor. So you got to find some $7,500. That's all I can tell you. Those $7,500 work miracles.
Well, and I would say that the government, I mean, so what the minister was saying, I think was so wrong. Because the government, through the central bank, also have a program that if you have a contract or a letter from the government, you can take it to the central bank and say, look, I have this job, give me 80% of the money. So if the commercial bank don't give you, central bank will give you. So what the minister was saying, pure rubbish. And if I didn't have the money, you could get the money. And something that she said that I take offense of that if I want to use money to mobilize some of the Caribbean country, I I
It
had
can't
to
work, so
I had to move out of Barbados, and I'm doing a lot of other work in three other countries, sorry, three other
I'm
Caribbean
glad you're
countries.
saying that because there are people who are thinking that you are all you're doing is trying to live off of government and so on. And that I'm so glad. And I would love for us black people to stop thinking the worst of each other. I'm just tired of it. Go ahead, Mr. Cherry.
We are doing some work in three other Caribbean countries,
Yeah.
and one of the countries that we are doing some work in, this is Jose and Jose, not the smaller group. Our fleet of equipment and the amount of work that we are doing and the respect that we have gotten from another government is unbelievable. There's a saying in the Bible: a prophet is without
it's
honor
honor in his own
among
land.
his own people and among his own kindred. And I want to thank God for that opportunity that I'm in that other country. And it is amazing, Marcia Weekes. General, I tell you, it's amazing to see the embrace that you get. I don't have to continue to fight here and raise my blood pressure. It is amazing, but it's not about me. Because what about the ones that can't run? What about those that can't get up and do what they did? What about those that still struggling here? No,
I can tell
I'm
you what.
gonna try to fight for them.
No, what the government wants is that you will go and work for Infra and Carl Williams. But how dare you go out there and try to do business yourself? They want to keep you poor. They want to keep you mendicant. They want to keep you. Look, you see this government, when we had COVID, they walk around the place and take a lot of expired stuff from these merchants that had it that they couldn't sell. Some that didn't have the English writing on it, and put it in bags and get people and think that they get hampered. Wait, if you got money, why are you going to give that money to merchants to buy their stuff when you can give me and I can buy what I want? I mean, even anybody say a merchant. But you walk around the place because you want to show people that you get handouts. And the thing is, a lot of it spoiled, especially the vegetables. You put them in the warehouse up there, that had the air conditioning thing, and that's when I come back. The place things withered and turned brown and black and all kind of fancy colors. But they wanted to get that old stock from the white businesses and feed it to you. I tell some of these things that were in the bags that they brought around and give to you didn't have language that I could understand. And I could understand a little bit of Spanish. Of course, I could say arroz con pollo, chicken and rice, and that kind of thing. But so and so it had some characters that didn't even that not even in the Romance languages. Some little Arabic type writings or Gujarati or something. So and you give those things to people. Mind you, the laws of Barbados says that the things must be labeled in English. So that is why you see some companies when they bring in stuff and they got English writing, they put the writing and stick it on in the container because government buy them and hand them out. So you were getting surprises because you said let me get this guy here, let me get the hot dog the next day and get mashed potatoes because the boy know, and the government did that to its people. To what way? To clear out the old stock from the white businesses they had because some of it was expired already and some was close to expiring. So they bought that stock. And I might not have wanted stock. I might have wanted the money so that I can go and buy soap too. And toothpaste. And my little girls might need that monthly things that they do have to get. So what, you're going to give me cans of this and cans of that and bags of rice that nobody can't remember the name of the place? No, it was wrong. And government continues, and people talking, oh, I saw one woman get up and said, we should be ungrateful how Mayor Motley give you these things, like Mayor Motley using money. She used the public money to make herself look good.
Yeah.
For people who are not seeing, because it wasn't good. Now, if you're going to spend $1,000 on me, give me the $1,000, let me spend it on myself. I can still spend it, but I can spend it down Cheapside. Because up there, yesterday I was in Cheapside buying vegetables. Because I don't let my vegetables in cans. And the ladies in Cheapside will go and buy them from the farmers. The farmer will go be able to pay his staff, like working for him. But when you go and take the white businesses, what you are doing, a lot of these white businesses have more staff than they need because they are cousins and brothers and sisters who went to school and played the fool and learn nothing, and you go off and work for them. They may like my brother who come out here with baptism and birth and went and find something. No, them is find things for them. So that's also responsible markup too, And we have to, as black people, help each other.
Yes.
And if we don't help each other, we will always be like this. And we got a black government in place. I don't see any Indians in the government. I don't see the white people in the government. I ain't seen the Syrians in the government. I ain't seen the Lebanese. I ain't seen the Chinese. I seen all black people. And black people are getting treated worse than all of those things I just talked about. All the other ethnic groups. Because those ethnic groups are willing to pay. I was an immigration officer and I saw people come here and pay for their citizenship. I remember I caught one fella and but they gave him, but his was immigrant status. I never forget this. And the office I was working in this registry section because they bring me for the airport because they had to speak harshly to somebody, so they put me in the office, and they put me to work with the files. And the guy came and says, "Frank, you get this fella's file?" I said, "You ain't got none." He said, "You ain't got none. You got to stamp your passport. See, you got immigrant status." I said, "Look and see what the stamp dated. The stamp dated that he had immigrant status in 1972. Immigrant status only came in 75. Check the law." And then the man said, "I pay so and so too much money. What am I going to go back to India?" He said, "I pay so and so. I'm not going to call the name to embarrass his children." But that's what's been happening. They were paying for it. So there's people that used to pay for what they want, and they have a culture of paying, and we have a subculture, officials in Barbados, of receiving. That is why we can't get integrity in public life in place. That is why somebody could be passing about $7,500 check because you have to fit into the culture. And that is what is in Barbados. Or this place is like Sicily. We are too corrupt.
Yeah.
And people think it is it is business. They're not great business people. They're great bribers.
Yeah.
And
I'm not. Go ahead, Mr. Cherry, and then I know we've over. We had you here longer than I had asked for you to come on. So go ahead, sir, and then we close out this section.
It's okay, and it's 9 now. It's way past my bedtime. We go to sleep early. It's 7 o'clock. I'll be asleep. But I'm not against. I'm not racist in any way, or not against white people or people that doesn't look like me getting work in Barbados. All I'm saying is that it really needs to be fair. If there's 98% of us, we need to get a little bit more bigger share of the work, and the work needs to be divided. We need to be fair, and this program, this accelerated, as they call it, million program, shows that it's not fair. There are $30 million. There are 3 companies divided in 3. This has. I mean, I was working on the South Coast Suez project, and the work was divided in 3 companies. So why can't they divide the work equally too? I mean, and that's what they said they would have done. I mean, a matter of fact, we're supposed to be getting 80%, and they're getting 20%. Or I mean, we were here waiting for work for so long. The work need to share. It's not about. I'm not fighting about black and white. I'm saying share the work, please.
Yes.
Share the work. Give us an opportunity that we give all of us an opportunity that we can leave for our children and our children's children as well.
But you are speaking black and white because the missionary work with black people.
Very
You
But
nice.
know,
I understand what he's saying, that
I
he,
know what he's saying. I know what he's saying. But what he isn't saying is black people. But that is the problem. The black people are getting the work.
yeah,
I am not afraid to say it. Because I can see it. The black people are the fellas who will be out there with the big long spreaders pushing around the hot mix. Why the white fella wear white shirts and white hats and stamp on the back and wait till you finish do it. You are the guys who do the actual work. And if you can do the actual work and you have the expertise, because you have the expertise, you have been around here. So you have the expertise, so you can get some of those same fellas that pushing around the barber green or whatever they're using to level the roads with. And let me tell you something. They don't build roads any better than anybody else. I remember seeing this for myself. A container truck passing Carmel School heading to the junction there. And they had just finished the roads. A couple of days earlier they finished the roads. And when the container applied brakes, the road come along with the container truck.
Wow.
And they had to rush and fix it back again. The road was done so poorly. I don't know who did it. I just know that it was a company doing it. And that when the brakes apply, the barber green top came along with it outside the common mirror. I saw that, but because I'm not technology driven, I didn't take up my phone and do nothing. I forget about the phone that I had alongside me in the car. You know, so now let's say that happened with an airplane that you build the runway on. That means that you're better than them,
yeah,
but you're better. But you got to be 100 times better to get a tenth of the work or any of the work at all, and they are not good at all.
It's
And they
hard.
get in the majority work. Yesterday evening, I'm leaving Bridgetown after 5 o'clock, going up Baxter's Road, and I see fellas in the reflective jackets marked C.O. Williams paving one of those side roads off of Baxter's Road down inside there. It ain't fair. It is not fair.
Not fair.
yeah. And that's what Mr. Cherry is saying. It is not fair. Mr. Cherry, I was just and this is what I mean, that we have to continue to support you. I'm being told that on they are in, I think it's St. James, and where they are, they somebody said they're cussing you on the stage, the political stage there, in St. James, Mr. They said one of the ministers. I won't call any name because I didn't hear the cussing. And I just want you to know, Mr. Cherry, that we're going to stand by you. You spoke out. They don't want you to speak out, but you're speaking out not just to yourself, but for everybody else. All right.